Let me break down what the Federal Reserve just did and what this means for your money. 2 days ago, the US Federal Reserve cut interest rates by 0.25%. Most people don't know what the fuck this means. Now, although the interest rate was only cut by 0.25% and it may not sound like a huge significance, this is actually a very big deal. In simple terms, when the Fed rate cuts, it becomes cheaper to borrow money. People spend more, so that means more money is flowing around the system. Think of it like this: when money is cheap, people stop holding cash and they start putting it to work. What this means for the US dollar? In simple terms, when the US dollar interest rate is high, investors earn more by holding dollars. That is what makes the dollar strong. Now, when rates get cut, the dollar becomes less attractive, money starts leaving cash, and investors look elsewhere for a return. So in simple terms, imagine if you had money in a savings account and each year you was getting less and less interest back on your savings. You'd stop doing it, right? I hope you would. That's why more rate cuts usually mean pressure on the US dollar. Now, the part most of you might be wanting to know is, what does this mean for gold? Well, gold loves rate cuts. Why? Because gold don't pay interest, bro. So when interest rates fall, gold becomes more attractive, more competitive. I ain't saying she a gold digger. Also, a weaker dollar makes gold cheaper globally. More money in the system also increases inflation fears, and gold is seen as a protection against that. So in simple terms, if cash loses buying power, people move their money into assets that hold value. I ain't saying she a gold digger. That's why gold usually moves bullish after the Feds turn dovish. Now, you may think to yourself, what does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin moves like a liquidity asset. When rates fall, money becomes easier and the risk appetite increases. That's usually when Bitcoin tends to benefit. So when people feel comfortable taking risk, they move their money from safe assets into growth assets such as tech, stock, crypto, and Bitcoin. Now, this doesn't mean Bitcoin will go up instantly, it just means that the environment around it becomes supportive. Now, what did Powell say that really mattered? The most important part wasn't Powell's cut, it was actually his tone. He made it very clear that the Fed is now watching data, not rushing to hike, and that they will adjust if conditions worsen. That tells the markets that the Feds are no longer fighting aggressively, they're actually managing stability. So here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about one trade. This is about a change in conditions. Periods like this hurt people holding cash, reward people positioned early, and create opportunities across gold, crypto, and assets. When the Fed has spoken, it's about positioning and not panic.